This is the first day of a total restoration on a pool table with over 32,000 plays on it. Check it out. We're taking off corner pieces. They're getting powder coated. All the bumpers are getting replaced. New trim pieces getting powder coated. Potentially new door with new hinges. Not taking these off, but we're gonna paint them. Probably gonna need new plexiglass. We're also gonna be coating all the tops and all the faces. You're gonna have to watch the video to see what we do on them. The last thing we're gonna do is replace all the felt. Let's jump into prepping. All right, check it out, guys. Putting our concrete overlay primer on, we decided to coat this with our concrete overlay. We're gonna use one of our concrete overlay countertop kits, and then we're gonna stain it a black, rub it in, give it like an antiquing black stain. So Trey's putting the primer on right now, taped everything off. Pretty simple process, man. Sanding was pretty simple, and then we're gonna do some custom markers on the side. You guys have to wait to see what we do on those, but they're gonna be really cool. And we mark behind the tape. Trey went around and marked behind the tape where all these are at, so we know exactly where to put them. So when we pull that tape, there'll be marks, so we know where to put our markers on the top. So we'll start mixing up the overlay, get the first coat on. We're gonna use one of our Leggari squeegees that we cut down, right? Cut them down really small, easier to use, right? On smaller, intricate stuff like this. And yeah, see how this thing turns out, man. It's gonna be a fun project. Check it out. Step one, dump our polymer. I always like to shake it up, don't dump it all out, just in case any polymer settled. And then we're gonna go mix this outside, that we're not getting a bunch of dust in here. Never be alarmed if you're doing your first coat on your concrete overlay counter kit and you see scratches and drag marks like that. You're always gonna get it, especially going over Formica, similar profile as Formica that we're coating over. We just wanna get it as coated as good as we can, right? Like if we can see, right? Like if we push some off, like if we see a bunch like this where you can literally, there's no buildup of product, we wanna add a little, right? This is all we're looking for right here. I'm not worried about these scratches, scrape marks, nothing. So while they're doing that, I'm gonna start on the faces. What I'm gonna do is just take a mud tray, get a little product in there. I'm just gonna hold it here and just scoop it up the wall. Pretty much it, pretty simple process to do it vertically. All right, so we got the first coat on, but one thing we have to do is we have to hydrate, right? We need to hydrate this overlay because if we put the next coat on this surface when it's dry, since it's porous, it's gonna wanna suck all the polymers out of this next coat, make it a pain to work with. And so we're gonna spray water, but we're gonna do it the exact same way. The only thing different we're gonna do is after we coat it, before it starts to set up, we're gonna do a random texture. And I'll kind of talk about that when we do it. Getting ready to do the second coat, they already mixed up the overlay. Landon's got the water for hydration. And then we did forget to cut this out yesterday before it was dry. And so I just took a razor blade, cut this thing out, right? Because I don't have the key for the door yet. All right, so before we coat it again, I want to show you guys how well this stuff sticks to smooth surfaces. And again, sanded, primed with our countertop primer, and then this is just the first coat. Right? So that ain't coming off. Hitting it with the hammer, and again, do another coat, and this is only 1 day old, right? 7 days, it'll be fully cured. It'll be even harder than it is today. All right, so check it out. We got this first section coated, and then I'm just gonna come through and just do, this is what I mean by doing a random texture. That way, it's kind of going all different directions. And you'll be able to see this when we stain it. You'll really be able to tell that random texture. So we're getting ready to do the scratch coat. Everything's pretty much ready for this coat. We're gonna be applying it with a scraper. So this material has 0 crushed marble. It's feather edge. And so what it's gonna do is basically the crushed marble in the texture coat leaves it kind of chunky and textured, has a bunch of peaks from the crushed marble. After you sand it, it creates a flat, smooth profile on all those peaks. And then we drag a metal scraper across the surface with the scratch coat, and it'll fill in all these low spots, and the metal scraper rides on all the peaks. So it's a pretty cool process. Already got mud mixed up, got our product right here, ready to rock. So we'll just pour some of this out, and again, this is one of our concrete overlay countertop kits. So the plan is we're gonna stain it. We're gonna use our Leggari misters, mist it on there, and then I'm gonna rub it dry with a rag, right? So it's gonna kind of give it an antique look. And so we'll do that, and then we'll pull the tape, get everything kind of cleaned up. If we have any spots we need to hit from pulling tape that didn't get stained, let this dry out. Next thing, we're gonna put some cool stuff that you'll have to wait to see what we do for the marks on the top. And then the last thing we gotta do is paint the sides and put our urethane top coat on it.